Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 24. This is the Port Vale save and we're on part 4 today, which is to finish off the squad's attributes. So we're down to the last now into the strikers. So we'll get straight into that. We're going to start with Gavin Massey. You can see he plays all over the pitch. But he won't be playing as a WBR or any of these AM positions, but he will be playing as striker. We put him in there yesterday. So, he's English, 30 years of age. We know he doesn't have any potential at that age, and his contract expires on the 30th of the 6th, 2024, and his wages is £3,000 per week. Now, going back to his positions, we know he's going to play here as a striker, but he's also going to be an accomplished MR, and we've only got room for one more, so that'll either be a DR or an ML. Now we go to the side here where it says preferred foot, and it's right, so we'll make that third one a DR, but that's only competent. So we're more interested in the natural position, unless he isn't good enough for the squad, and then we'll have to move him down to the next available position. Right, so let's start with the technicals. So they come up to 115. Now his mentals. Is 133, and his physicals comes to 87. So you can see 335 points is no good really. Looking down the bottom here, you can see in purple that we need these players to be around 383 because he's got no potential, he's not going to get any better. So 335 and the age is 30. So we go back into our player values and we come down to we find 335 and then across from 15 until we get to 30. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that tells us he's worth 81,880. And when we do that, we see that his wage should be around £273 a week. So 3,000 is way too much. Now, working our way down. We had done all these yesterday in the midfield section. The only one we had left there was a youth player that was not going to play any of these AM positions, but he needs retraining to be a striker. He's only 16. So there we put his name yesterday. So his points will only be in the competent. He won't be natural. So he's English, 16 years of age, 81 potential with 9 years till he gets to 25, times that 9 points per season. And he's on a contract that ends 2024, and And like all the youth players, they're on £220. So let's add up the technicals. Which comes to 66. And his mentals come to 80. And his physicals come to 66. So even if he was natural at 212, his potential would only bring him to 293. He's never going to be a Port Vale player. So 212 is the figure we use. So 212 to 16 years of age, and he's worth £582. So he'll eventually just leave the club. He should be on £2 a week, not 220. And he's never going, as I say, he's never going to play for Port Vale. And the reason why we use this natural figure is because if someone did want to buy him, he would be based on the natural ability in the attacking midfield positions, not on the one that we're going to use him for, because we don't use the attacking midfielders. Right, so beginning to move down now. We've done him yesterday, and James Plant will be our next player. Now James Plant is 19 years of age, which means he will fit in to the under 21s. You can see that again, all these attacking midfield positions won't be used, and nor will the WB, the wing back. So he will be used only for a natural striker. 19 years of age, 6 years till he gets to 25, times that 9 points is 54 potential possible. Then his contract, we've got him till the end of the 25 season, and his wages £500 per week. And his nationality is English. And now we're going to start with his technicals. Which come to 109. Then his mentals. And that comes to 153, which isn't too terrible. And his physicals come to 90. So he's 352, which isn't too bad at 19, has scope to get to potential of 406, which could bring him in as a championship player at the wrong end. So let's estimate his value, 352 to 19. So I estimate him worth around £1 million. 72,745. There we go. And that tells me he should be on around £3,500 a week, and he's only on 500. So he will be a good player in time. Now, as we did yesterday, We will go back here and you can see that they estimate him around £500,000. But we go transfer status, and the asking price we would raise to £1 million. So as you can see there, the transfer value of that player now has changed. So if anybody wanted to come in and try and buy him, we would be wanting £1 million for him. Working our way down again, we've got another 3, 6, another 8 to do, and our next one will be Ellie Fisher, which is 17 years of age. Got a couple of AM positions there that we don't use, so only going to be a natural striker, and of course 17 years of age will go into the under 18s. The nationality is English. As I say, 17 years of age means you've got 8 years till you're 25, times 9 is 72. And it's another one of those youth contracts. End of the season, £220 per week. And into the technicals. Which comes to 89. And the mentals, which comes to 97, and the physicals, which comes to 65. So again, even with all the potential added on, only comes to 323. It is not going to be a Port Vale player. So 251 points to 17. So 251, there we go, and 15, 16, 17, 7,134 is his estimated value, and his wages should be around £24. So again, too much, and as he's 17, if we have enough players, he will be looking to be loaned out. Any money that we can get in will be a bonus. Our next player we're going to look at is another youth player. Again, a couple of AM positions that we're not going to use. He will only be used as a striker, and that will be natural. And his name is Logan Cousins. And he is also English, 16 years of age, which means 9 years to 25 times 9 is 81, and he has the usual contract that everybody seems to have for a youth player, £220 a week to the end of the season. And now the technicals. Which is 71. Which is 76. And the physicals, which is 62. So 209 against the age of 16. And this one's going to be really poor. So 209 tells us he's worth £497. Should be on £2 a week. So that's another one that isn't any good for the squad. And that's the last youth player for now. There's another couple at the bottom here. But the next one we're going to look at is James Wilson. James Wilson is going to be a senior player. And again, 2 AM positions, but all he's going to be is a natural striker. And again, he's English. He's 27 years of age, so he's past the potential. So that will go in as 0. Bit of a different contract here. He's only here to the 2nd of the 1st, 24. So if you want to keep a player like this, you need to be thinking about a contract straight away. So what we're going to do, just to remind us, I'm just going to put a different colour here. It doesn't matter what you use. Just something different. Just to give you a reminder if you do want him, that is. And he's on 1,500 a week. Let's go into his technicals. Which is 135. And his mentals are 146. And his physicals are 87. Sorry about that. So, his natural points are 368, and he's 27 years of age. Bit under what we're looking for, but it's the best we've got so far. So, into the player value. And across till we get to 27 years of age, 24, 25, 26, 27. That tells us he's worth over $500,000, 547, 761. He should be on somewhere in the region of around 1,800 a week. So if we were looking to keep him on, that's what we would be looking at. Maybe the same wage that he's on at the moment, but no more than 1,800. Just 5 more to do now. Ryan Loft will be our next one. He's 25 years of age, so again it's another senior player. And he's English as well. Only plays striker natural, so that's an easy one for us. 25 years of age, tell us now that he comes to the end of his potential. His wages, or his contract, runs out 2025, and his wages is £3,000 per week. And going into his technicals, is 118. Now his mentals, which is 140, and the physicals are 96. So he's on 354 for the age of 25. Again, we don't have anybody around this 383 at the moment. So 354 to 25. Tells us he's worth around 400,000. So 404,585. But the wage there tells us he should be on around 1,300 a week, and as opposed to his 3,000. I'm just going to have a drink. Hopefully it will stop that coughing. Right, so that's Ryan Loft done. Now we're going to work down to, first of all, this player is going to be a senior player, and Ikpeazu, maybe something like that, or Ikpeazu. Anyway, something like that. Now he comes from Uganda, and the position only of striker, natural. He's 28 years of age, so there'll be no potential there, and his contract is up at the end of the season. And wow, he's on £5,000 a week, and I think that's the most expensive player at the club so far. Let's hope he's going to be worthy of it. So let's add the technicals. That's 135. Now the mentals. So they come to 159. And the physicals is 109, which is our top physical player anyway, and look at that, he's on 403. So maybe should be playing at the bottom of the championship. He's definitely going to be a player that we need as a striker. So 403 to 28. $24, $25, $26, $27, $28. So I've got him worth 1.9 million. 9, 12, 8, 5, 9. And that tells me he should be on 6,000 plus per week, and he's on 5,000, so that's okay. So at least we've got a striker. Now the next one we've got is Josh Thomas, and I've heard of him anyway, and on loan from Swansea. And he is 20 years old, so we will be putting him here in the under 21s. And remember that if you've got a player on loan, put the sign next to it to remind you. because you're not going to be able to sell him. Now here's Welsh, and he only plays striker natural. He's 20 years of age, so he has 5 years at 9 points, his 45 possible potential. His contract is the 31st of May 24, and we're paying $1,100 per week for this player. And let's have a look at his technicals. He looks an all-round okay player. So that's 123. Now the mentals. Is 160, and that's great really for a young player such as 20. And 93 for his physical, brings him to 376, which is second at the moment in our strikers, but he's only 20 and he does have potential to get to the top of the championship, but he's already at Swansea, so yeah, it won't be long before they put him in the team, I wouldn't think. So 376 to 20. Tells us he's worth around 2.3 million. 339001. So it should be on 7,700 per week. So when we was looking at loaning him, it would have been 1,100. So that would have been a snip. But don't forget, it wasn't me that did any of these. This was all done at the end of the last season before I arrived, which was on the game still today, because we haven't done anything with it or forwarded it. Now, just 2 more to do now, but both of these are youth players. So the first one we're going to look at, so it's going to fit in the youth, and this is Kalen Ryan. Now Kalen Ryan comes from Thailand, and his position is natural striker, and that's the only position. 17 years of age, again that's 8 years at 9 points, which is 72 potential. His contract is the usual one, ends in 2024 for £220 a week, that's the youth contract. And his attributes, is 75. And that is 77 for the mentals, and the physicals is 58, brings him up to 210, but even if you add the potential, he'll only rise to 282, and that's over 100 out from what we need, so he won't be staying at the club further than the end of the season. So 210 17. That's 210, 15, 16, 17, £423 worth, which again should be on £1 a week. So the 220 is too much. The great thing again is 17, so you should be able to loan him out to try and retrieve some of that 220. And the final player we're going to look at now is another youth player, 16 years of age. We haven't got room to put him in here, so we will just go here for now. And this is Vale or something like that. He's English. Let's just put an under 18 sign there. We can see that he only plays one position, which is a natural striker. 16 years of age, 9 nines are 81, and again the usual youth contract. And his attributes, this is the final player now. That comes to 69 for the technicals. Now the mentals. Which comes to 83. And the physicals comes to 62. So that's going to be our last player. Now he's only on 214, and again, if you had the potential here, he's not going to make a Port Vale player. So 214 to 16, there's 214, 15, 16, £681. And again, should be on £2 a week. So we've got some really bad youth coming through here. Now what we're going to do is put our top 4 players in order, and we do have one here which is James Plant and Josh Thomas in the under 21s that could well fight for positions here. So we know we're going to have this Yushik Pezu as our number 1. So that means we need to take out Gavin Massey, because he's our lowest ranked player in the seniors. So Josh Thomas will take his place. And now what we do with those 4, just for a minute, we'll put them in order from the V column. Okay, and that's that. And you can see that James Plant just 2 points off being in those seniors. So he's going to be our 5th player. And now we're going to put our youth in order again of the V column. And you can see that Andrew Bois will be our lowest ranked player here because he's not a natural. So we're going to remove him from that position, and we're going to put in this last guy, this DePepper. So for now, this is everybody that we've got. This is in order. And we will always need the top 6. For when you've got 2 positions to fill, you need 3 for each. So we need 6 strikers. So there's the 4, there's the 5, and the 6th one at the moment, before we invest, will be Eddie Fisher to number 6. So what that means is that your next 3 players down here will all go back to the youth, but Caelan Rynham will look to be loaned because he's 17, and Andrew Buar will also drop into the youth. So what I try to do here, just put these in some colour to remind you, because when we first start, this is one of the first things that we need to do. Now, Gavin Massey cannot play anywhere else in the squad because he is a senior player. It is only on 335, and the worst one's on 354. So his next position available is MR. It's only going to be 318 points. It isn't going to help us at all, and especially on £3,000 per week. But for now, we're going to put him in. There we go. So the 352 Ethan Chislett, the 318 Gavin Massey. Remember, they are both MR. Oh, sorry, MR Ethan Chislett was a competent for that position, which is 334, and Gavin Massey is accomplished at 318. So they're in the right order, but they are 2 players that are not going to be any good for this squad, I would think. But then I think there's a lot of players that are not going to be able to help. Right, so that is all the strikers finished. As I say, remember this one here, this James Wilson, if you want to keep him, his contract does run out and in about 6 months from our start date. So you will need to be looking to give him a contract pretty much straight away. Right, now the other thing I said that we were going to do was change all these friendlies. Alright, we need to change these friendlies to clubs that we think we've got a chance against to start with before we build up to better clubs. So into schedule and arrange friendly. But first of all, we're going to cancel the friendly against Marine and the Irish club Shelbourne and the other Irish club Glenarvan and Dunfermline Athletic as well. So that leaves us clear on the friendlies. Now the first friendly that I really want to start will be on the Saturday. This will be most probably someone in the conference or thereabouts, or even lower, because we're not going to have time to sign anybody. Let's have a look who's available. We've got AFC Telford United, FC United of Manchester, we've got Macclesfield, they've reformed, and we've got Hereford. I'm gonna choose Salisbury there. Now we'll arrange a second friendly. Now what we're going to do all the way down until our first league match, we're going to play 2 friendlies every week, one on a Tuesday and one on a Saturday. So we'll have a look at the teams here. We're still going smaller. So this time time we'll look for someone like Kidderminster Harriers. And then a range of friendly again. Smaller. This time we'll be looking at Kettering Town. You can choose who you want if you're going to do the save as well. And we'll have one more week of smaller opposition because we've definitely got to try to build the team up. And hopefully we will have signed a few players by this time. So Macclesfield have reformed, so we'll put them in. And our last one here of smaller opposition will be, let's have a look at Ilkeston Town. And the last two that we're going to have, I don't really like a friendly on the Tuesday before our first league game on Saturday. But on the Tuesday here, Shrewsbury are going to be in our league. I think perhaps that's most probably our best opposition from where we're supposed to finish, that is anyway. And here it's going to be the same sort of teams. We don't want to go and play Oxford United. Carlisle came up. So yeah, we'll look at playing Carlisle on that final day. So there you have it. That's our friendly proposals. We're not going to continue the game to find out whether these teams are coming. But what we're going to have to do now is save the game. So save the game as Port Vale, and I'm going to call this Port Vale 4 because this is the part that we're doing. So we'll save that. And then we'll find out in the next episode whether any of these teams accept. They normally do. And then we will start from the inbox. And one of the first things they will ask us to do will be this, which will be the tactics screen. We know we're going to be playing 4-4-2. That's why they ask you very early in the game. And obviously the club vision there. The board welcome you with optimism, which is normal case. We've got to try to avoid relegation. We've now done all the points for the strikers and working backwards. We're in trouble in that position of MR. We have plenty of MC. ML we don't have any. DR we're okay. DC we're okay. DL we're okay, and goalkeepers we're okay. But not as in class, but we have enough players in there. Now just going back to the strikers, you can see that we're spending 12,200 on strikers, but we've only got £10,101 in the wage budget. So this is another position where we're in trouble, and we're 2,099 over budget, and that included moving a £3,000 player. If you remember, we moved Gavin Massey, who was on 3,000, otherwise we'd have been 5,000 overdrawn. So what we've got to look at there is bringing that figure back. So I would say, which I didn't do here, but looking at this, I think we're going to have to put Ryan Loft on the transfer list and bring James Plant in as our fourth striker. There's only 2 points between them, but there's a lot between them on potential. So that's mostly one thing we will do when we start. But otherwise, that's about it. If you want a free template spreadsheet from this game, let me know. I will send that to you. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, leave a like and a comment, and we'll catch up in the next part. Thanks for watching.